today's reading is going to be about the thyroid and the throat chakra, because a lot of my clients, well, a lot of my clients are women anyway, more than men, and a lot of them have issues with that chakra region, and with speaking their truth and being okay with owning that and being heard. And so I thought this would be a good reading, useful reading for a lot of people, because I think it's a popular subject. I think it's a subject that's really topical today, because thyroid problems are a really big thing. Lots and lots of people have thyroid issues, and it used to be quite rare. So yeah, it's one of those things like Alzheimer's that's just like rising and rising and rising as there are more toxins and whatnot in the world, and also because of like the effects of things like vaccines and antibiotics, and all of these things that trigger autoimmune flares and conditions. So the question is, how can I heal my thyroid and speak my truth? Which are kind of the same thing, really. But if you don't have a thyroid condition, you have another something to do with the throat area. Whether that's a sore throat or allergies or difficulty swallowing, or whatever it is for you, then you can apply the same answer to this. Yeah. So anything to do with the throat area really is how can I help it? Okay. So the first card, which is like our starting place, so this is where you start from. First card is the Page of Pentacles. So this card comes after the 10 of Pentacles. So we go from Ace all the way up to 10, and then the Page comes next. So like this guy has done quite a bit of work already, and he's reached a certain point, but he is still, like, it's almost like he's done the work that he could do on his own independently, in terms of growing and learning. Like if you think of like a page, if you think of like a page in contemporary terms, it's like, okay, so you were born as an ace, and then you kind of like went to school, and you went through all the different levels of school, and the page is when you leave university and you do an apprenticeship. So it's kind of like you're grown up, you've done a lot of work, you've done a lot of study, you've done a lot of practice towards doing something, but you don't necessarily have the experience and the exact skills now that you're going to kind of like focus on a certain career or subject, and so the page needs somebody else to help him. His work goes to work and learn from somebody else. So that's where you are right now. It's kind of like you are in the beginning of working and learning from someone else. So you've kind of done it all alone, and you've even taken it up the next level, and now you're beginning to work with and learn from someone else. And you're kind of like taking, if you see that pentacle as the issue here, you're taking it and you're kind of like holding it out and offering it up to this higher power and saying, kind of, can you help me? Can you help me turn my one gold coin into many gold coins? Can you help me expand upon this healing, make it bigger, make it more powerful, make it kind of like materialize in my body, And so the character here is like he's on an adventure, he's on a walk, yeah, and he's like, and his surroundings are quite beautiful. There's like green grass and some flowers beneath his feet, you know, little tiny flowers are coming up, so it's the beginnings of something happening. There's a bit of like brown landscape in the background still, so there's a bit of like stuff that hasn't started to produce greenery, so it's not quite healthy yet, it's not quite there yet. The mountains in the background are quite blue and cold, and maybe that's like the place that he's left behind, but also maybe that's the place that he kind of needs to go through still. There are some trees in the background that kind of makes me think of like some obstacles, some complications, some something that you're not quite seeing yet, that's hidden inside of there. But this guy is like, he's grounded now. It's like he's standing more firmly on his feet. He's found his footing, and he's dressed in green. So he knows that in order to deal with this issue, he has to open his heart, and he has to really embrace his heart space and let things work from there. So they're kind of like the browny orange of his undergarments are like kind of like the womb space, yeah, the sacral chakra. So it's like embracing his, and in this reading, this is like specifically about the feminine energy of the throat chakra and the thyroid. So it's about embracing the womb space, that creative space, that nurturing space where things come from and grow from, and where you really have to be at one with your own body and your own self in order to be able to like nurture that and bring into like being that new life. And then it moves up into the heart space, where it's all about self-love and like kind of like embracing yourself for all of yourself, no matter who you are, what you are, how you act, loving that no matter what. And then it's like, it's almost like he's taking his solar plexus, yeah, which is his intuition, his gut feeling, his authentic self. He's taking that and he's offering it up to the universe, to a higher power. And the background is all like really, really yellow as well. So it's kind of about intuition and everything. It's like, hey, here's my intuition. Here are my thoughts and feelings about this thing. And now I'm offering it up to you. Please, can you translate this into something that is more useful to me? So it's like a humble energy. There's a humble energy here, an asking for help, an acknowledgement of the fact that you can't do this on your own, that you've kind of tried and that you've got a certain way, but now you're stuck and you don't know where to go next, and it's not happening for you. So like the main kind of energy of this card is really like saying surrender, yeah, offer it up. Yeah, don't try and do it all on your own, and don't just hold it inside and go, I need to speak my truth and I'm going to do it in private to myself, or I'm going to do it in my journal just with me and me. It's like, no, you need to kind of take that truth and you need to put it out there, and you need to take a risk, and maybe it will be rejected, maybe it will make people angry, but you need to take responsibility for that and to own it, and to trust that it will be lovingly received when it comes into connection and contact with the right space. And if it comes into contact with the space that's not right and you get a bit of backlash, so be it. That is part of speaking your truth, being authentic to yourself, and having a healthy throat chakra. Yeah, it's not about being perfect, it's not about being liked all the time, it's about just owning what is authentically you, what is true, and trusting that that's okay, because everybody's different and everybody has different opinions, and a difference of opinion doesn't make one person better or worse than the other, or more right or more wrong. It's just subjective a lot of the time. The next card, and moving forward into the future, so what can you do next, is the Knight of Pentacles. See, what's interesting is it's the next card in line. So we've got the Page and then we've got the Knight, and it's like, oh, so all we have to do is move one step. Yeah, so it's like one step forwards, no, nothing scary, no big leap here. And then that's the next thing to do into the future. And that's kind of saying, right, okay, instead of surrendering to someone else, to a higher power, and saying, hey, teach me, help me, it's like, now is the time to get on your horse in the future, and moving into the future. So what you're doing right now is asking for help and everything, and that's all great, and you're kind of like reaching out, putting it out there, you know, one step out of yourself, and that's a really great start. And you've done a lot of work on your own, and then, you know, with that first next step of other people, but now you need to kind of go off on a crusade, and you need to go in search of the Holy Grail, essentially, the Holy Grail of your voice, of your thyroid. And because both cards are Pentacles, and Pentacles are about finances and financial stability and like material things in that respect, in a monetary sense. So it's about developing more self-worth, yeah. And that can be emotional self-worth, like that. It's about developing more worth, but that can be emotional self-worth. It doesn't necessarily mean financial self-worth, although financial kind of strength, financial wealth, financial confidence, you know, however you want to put that, will help you to have more self-worth, because if others value you and you get paid for your time and what you do, then that in turn kind of like feeds the soul, and then you are more able to believe that you are valuable and that you are worthy and that what you do counts. So this card is calling for a journey of the root chakra, yeah. So it's about building strength in your foundations on a root level. Security, self-worth, kind of, so it's like on the level of survival, so it's having your basic needs met. So you need to kind of like have more faith that your basic needs will be met, yeah, that you are capable of providing for your basic needs on your own. So maybe you need to actually prove that to yourself and provide for your basic needs on your own. Like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're reliant on them, or you split things half and half or whatever, but you don't feel comfortable that without that person you would be able to support yourself. Maybe you need to find a way to prove to yourself that you can support yourself, that you do have that independence and strength, and perhaps that for you is the journey that you need to take in order to heal your throat, your thyroid, and own your authentic truth. Again, in this card, there is the offering up of the coin. Yeah, so there is still that element of surrender, that element of don't hide your truth, your authenticity. It's like you have to offer it up. You have to put it out there, and risk it being rejected, risk it falling flat on its face. It's all about intuition again as well, with the yellow background. So like allow your gut instincts, your intuition to guide you towards the landing place of this pilgrimage. Like, you know, like do some dream work, yeah, and ask your subconscious and your higher self, where do I need to journey to? What do I need to focus on as my destination in this situation? What will kind of give me the results that I need? Like figure out where you think you're heading, even if it changes along the way. Figure out where you believe it is right now, and then head in that direction. And, you know, holding your truth in your hand and then that will kind of, that will see you through, that will take you to where you need to be, and help you to heal your throat and your thyroid and speak your truth. So I hope that was helpful for you. You know, it doesn't necessarily give a clear answer, that reading. It puts the responsibility in your hands. Yeah, this is your journey, it's your responsibility, and it's got a lot to do with, the answer has a lot to do with career, a lot to do with vocation, a lot to do with being on your path, being on the right track, being true to yourself. What is your cause? What is your calling? If you're off course, find your way back. Yeah, and be patient with yourself, be loving with yourself. It might take some time, but that really is like the true goal here, is to find your way back to your cause, to your calling, and then all of the healing will take place. That is why there is an imbalance here, is because you are singing someone else's song, you are playing someone else's tune, you are going along with what you think will make other people happy, whether that be people that you are close to on an intimate level or just society in general. So take back your power, find your way to your path. Yeah, find out where you wish to be of service, and then everything will be healed. If you would like to watch more of my videos, please do check out the rest of my channel. I also have a website, which is lemonrosepetals.com, and on there are blog articles and lots of different pages with information about different modalities and things that I'm interested in, that I do. So there's a lot of information there that you could like learn from. You can also find out more about me if you're interested, and you can get in contact with me there if you would like to book a private reading with me. I work with people all over the world. I work via email, via Skype, via video, and you can also check me out on Instagram. My Instagram page is Lemon Rose Petals, and that has a lot of tarot stuff on there as well. Not just tarot. There's it's partly tarot on there and partly me as an artist, because like I am an artist as well. And there are a lot of dog related posts on my Instagram page, because I have a little dog and she is my little baby. Yeah, so that may or may not appeal to you, depending on whether you have a dog or not, or like animals, I guess, and whether you're into like, you know, my kind of art. Yeah, and so if you would like a reading, please do contact me via one of those places. And if you'd just like me to do a video here on this channel or page, wherever you're finding me right now, if you would like me to answer a question for you and you're happy for that to go public, then just send me a message, ask me your question, and we can take it from there, and that's entirely free. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for listening to this reading, and good luck.